Merhaba, bu haftaki gramer yapılarımızdan bir tanesi de article'lar. Article'lar Türkçe'de direkt karşılığı olmadığı için öğrenilmesi en zor yapılardan birisi olarak biliniyor. Ama bu videodan sonra ve alıştırmalardan sonra umarım biraz daha rahat kullanmaya başlayacağız article'ları. Let's start with use of and. Okay. This is one of the, as I said, this is one of the most problematic areas of English grammar and usage. Many languages don't have separate words for A and D, and even if they do, let's say, these words may not correspond exactly to the way in which they are used in English. So students or people studying English as a second language are often giving the following useful but sometimes confusing rules. Let's start with singular countable nouns. Normally, all the singular countable nouns need a determiner, like the, a, my, these, one, some. So here there are two decisions to take. First one, which nouns are countable? So, if we don't know which one is countable, we can't know what to add before it. Second decision comes as how to decide between A and D. It seems quite easy while speaking, but deciding which nouns are countable ones and which aren't isn't as easy as it looks. Let's first try to understand the concept of countable and uncountable nouns. Countable nouns, as we already have been taught, refer to the things that we can count, like 1, 2, 3. Such nouns can take either singular or plural form. Concrete nouns may be countable. Concrete nouns mean in Turkish somut isimler. Like there are a dozen of flowers in the vase. Like flowers, I can see it, I can touch it, so it's a concrete noun. He ate an apple for a snack. Secondly, collective means topluluk isimleri, nouns are countable. She attended 3 classes today. London is home to several orchestras. The other one, some proper nouns are countable. Proper nouns, özel isimler. Normally we think proper nouns are uncountable, but some of them can be counted, like this. There are many Greeks living in New York. The Vanderbilts will throw lavish parties at their Newport summer mansion. So Greeks here mean the Greek people. Let's decide between countable and uncountable nouns. As we said, uncountable nouns refer to things we cannot count. Such nouns, okay, take only singular form. So there is no plural form of uncountable nouns. Abstract nouns are uncountable. Abstract nouns soyut isimler. Like the price of freedom is constant vigilance. Freedom, I cannot count freedom. Her writing shows maturity and intelligence. Like maturity and intelligence, these are both abstract nouns. The other rule, some concrete nouns are uncountable when understood in their undivided sense. Here, okay, let's stop a little bit. It is really important to decide in which meaning or in what sense the noun is used. Because according to the usage or the context or the meaning, some nouns can be either countable or uncountable. Here the examples come like this. The price of oil has stabilized recently. May I borrow some rice? Okay, you can count them like a bucket of rice or a packet of rice or a can of oil, but you cannot count the liquids like water. The other rule, while uncountable nouns don't generally take a plural form, Sometimes they may be pluralized, become plural when used in a countable sense. The difference between the uncountable and countable meanings of nouns that are used in either sense can be seen in the following chart. Okay, here the most perplexing or confusing part of countable and uncountable nouns are that some of the nouns can be both countable and uncountable with a slight change in their meaning and usage. Let's see the chart. Let's start with uncountable sense of art. Art is often called limitation of life. Here, art means the general art, a general concept, like an abstract concept. But I can make it a countable one. I read a book about the folk arts of Sweden. Here you see the folk arts. It's like it's becoming more concrete. I can see it now. Life is precious. Okay, a general concept, an abstract concept here, but here a cat has 9 lives. So here it's like the thing I can feel, I can see. And religion has been a powerful force in history. It's an abstract concept. Many religions are practiced in the United States, so I can see, I can learn these religions. Like concrete, it's becoming more concrete. She has beautiful skin. The hull of a kayak is made of animal skins. Here, the concept is being countable. Dr. Malton is an expert in ancient Greek sculpture. It's like a field of fine arts now. So I can't divide this one, but this one, we have several sculptures in our home. It is more concrete. I can see, I can show, I can do, make sculptures. We use only recycled paper in our office. It is the general thing, the general division. But here, where are those important papers? It's like papers like, how can I say it? It's like I can touch it. I can hold these papers now. It is being concrete in countable sense. Again, another concept of countable and uncountable. You are seeing a list here, a chart here. And these nouns are the ones which are frequently used in a research paper. Some of them also can be used in the plural. Okay, normally we are accustomed to using most of them in uncountable sense, but sometimes we can also make these countable. The way you use a noun determines whether it is used in its countable or uncountable form. The nouns which can also have a countable meaning appear in bold. Okay, also, yes, in bold you see and italics, and the other ones are in green you see. Let's start with this part. You see all of them in this column can be countable when they are used in the proper context, like agriculture's behaviors, concerns, you can say, but you cannot say accesses, evidences, freedoms. You can never ever use these nouns in countable sense, like earth, no way, equipments, no, advices, no, electricity, health, independence. But for the others, you can make all of them countable, like democracies, educations, existence. But the concept and context and the meaning is really important to decide that. Let's continue. You can make industry countable like industries, papers, pressures, salt, visions, technologies, wines, waters, velocities, velocity means speed, policies, purities, lights, losses, but you cannot say like researches. It is it is done by most of the Turkish people. They say researches, but we can't say. Instead of researches, we can say research papers, research articles, research studies. And what else? Knowledges. We cannot say this. You can work on, you can watch this part. however you want. Okay, there comes the second decision. Which one should I use? I've learned which one is countable and uncountable. I decided that, but either A or D. First rule, use the if or when you and your reader both know which thing or person you mean. I had a cheese sandwich and an apple for lunch. The sandwich was fine, but the apple had a worm in it. So, what is the difference? Why do I use a and an in the first sentence, but I change into the in the second one? The difference is that the first time the speaker mentions the cheese or sandwich or the apple, only the speaker knows about them. But the second time, both the speaker and listener know because I have talked in this first sentence. The worm, however, is new to the listener and so is referred to using a. Here you see the apple had a worm in it. I didn't mention worm in the first sentence, so this time I use a but not the because it is a new information to the listener. Here the important thing is that whether the knowledge information is new for the listener or not. I can know it, but it is important for the listener to know it, to use the. Another rule for if, use even if the thing or person hasn't been mentioned before. Ah, it's a contrasting idea, huh? Let's see what is happening. If one concept mentioned automatically creates the concept of other thing in the reader's mind, what does it mean? Let me check the examples. I arrived at Heathrow Airport, but the check-in was closed. So the first concept is Heathrow Airport. So the listener can understand this airport and can create the concept of check-in. So I don't have to mention the check-in beforehand, to use the D because the listener can know, can understand and can create an image of the airport. I bought a new computer, but the keyboard was faulty. So the listener knows about the computer. So I can use the keyboard here because it is a part of the computer, a concept related to this computer. Look up at the ceiling. Why D here? Because we are in the same room. It is really obvious which ceiling I am talking about. We are continuing with A and D. Another example, did she get the job? Why is it D? Because the job we both know she wanted. She talked about her desires about the job. I will meet you in the library later. The library we normally use, so everybody knows about that library. Another rule of using the. Use the if there is only one possible referent. What does it mean? If there is only one in the world. Let's see. We remove the softest layer of membranes. Okay, the softest layer of membranes, there is only one in a human body. Cairo is the capital of Egypt. Okay, the capital of Egypt, there is only one capital of Egypt. The opening was located in the center of each mesh. So there is only one center of each mesh. Government policy is committed to protecting the environment. There is only one environment in this world. The sun's altitude is used to determine latitude. The suns here, there is only one sun in the world. Another rule about the choice of A or D, use A but not the If it doesn't matter, not important, or you don't know, or your reader doesn't know which thing person you are referring to, it's a different point. It's not important, or the person I am talking to doesn't know about it. The subject then spoke to an interviewer. Why it is not the? Because it's not important which interviewer. I know which one normally. Yes, in this concept I know, but I don't want to talk about tell the exact interviewer. And you don't have to know about that. Sometimes the choice of a or the changes the meaning of the sentence completely. Okay, it is one of the most confusing parts of this subject. Let's see the first example. There are two sentences here and each has a different meaning just because of the choice of the article. This effect may hide a connection between the two. Why a? It means there may possibly be a connection between the two, but if there is, we cannot see it. A connection, any connection, but I am not specific here. In sentence B, this effect may hide the connection between the two. Here, there is definitely a connection between the two, but we may not able to see it because of this effect. So I am sure and I know about the connection here. We are continuing with the decision of A and D. Second example, no article. Okay, in these two sentences, you will also realize the meaning is changing according to the use of article or no article. In sentence A, the notes should be attached to two adjacent receptor sites. So, I can understand from this sentence there are many receptor sites and any two adjacent ones will do. Okay, two adjacent receptor, any of them, not the specific, just any of them. But in sentence 2, the notes should be attached to the two adjacent receptor sites. There are only two receptor sites, and I know and you know about it. Now, to sum up, we can use a, the, and sometimes no article while expressing a general truth. In this case, there becomes no change in the meaning. Let's see these three sentences. The survey is a way of collecting valuable data for research. It's a general sentence. A survey is a way of collecting valuable data for research. Another general sentence, and these two sentences have the exactly similar meaning. And third one comes, surveys are ways of collecting valuable data for research. So three of these sentences have the same meaning if I use them in the sense of expressing a general truth. Okay, some other uses of the actually normally in grammar books there are like 50 usages of using the, but all of them are not necessary for writing a research paper. So just the most important ones are taken and you will be told about the most important ones here. Let's see why the is used or not used in these sentences. In the first one, the world's fastest animals is the cheetah. Let's see what can be the reason I use the here. Because of the use of superlatives. With the superlatives like you see fastest or the best, the most beautiful, I have to use a the here like the cheetah. Let's see the second example. The USA was founded in the 18th century. What is the reason I use the here? Because of the time periods in the 18th centuries. century, sorry, in 18th on or in the 18th. Like I have to use the before the time periods. Another example, the government increased taxation in the 1970s. Let's see what can be the government or which one? For which one? The government. Yes. For the unique things like the government, it can be the government, the sun. So I can say there is only one government in this country. So I can say the government. The the French Revolution was partly caused by bad harvests. What can be the reason I use the before the French Revolution? Because it is specified. So it is specified mean everybody knows when French Revolution happened and the concept and its results. So if everybody knows about an event, I can say the, use the. Okay, let's see the other usages of the. The New Scientist is published every week. What is the New Scientist? It should be a publication. So for regular publications, I have to use the. And if the South is characterized by poverty and immigration, what is the South here? A region. For the regions and the rivers, for the names of the rivers, I have to use the. And G. Pablo Picasso, the Spanish artist, was born in Malaga. Why do I use the here? Because he is a very well-known person and I can use the with very well-known people and things. H. The river Seine runs through the middle of Paris. Why do I prefer to use the here? Because it tells me about the position, like it can be also the middle of the city. I. The United Nations was founded in 1949. For institutions, for governmental bodies, I also have to use the. JUC, the euro was introduced in 2002. It's used with the currency, like the dollar, the Turkish lira. I have to say the. Okay, until now we have talked about where, when, and how to use the and the an articles. But what about the places we shouldn't use the? Let's see, there are some concepts we shouldn't use the with. The first one, things in general. If I am talking about the things in general, like bad harvest, it's also a countable noun, so I shouldn't use the. Two, names of the countries. Normally I don't say the Turkey, but for some countries, yes, I have to use the. Actually, these countries are a compilation of the small bodies and the small states, like the United Kingdom. It's the kingdom. And United States also the United States of America. So these countries are not just one country, so I have to use the before them. With the abstract nouns, so it is similar like poverty, intelligence, don't have to, I can't use the. For with the company names and for the things named after people, and for the places, I don't use the, like Sainsbury's, it should be the last name of a family, and Heathrow Airport, so I don't use, it's özel isim. With some özel isim, yes, I use, but here I can't use the. Another alternative for you. If you don't want to use the, you can also change the sentence formation, let's say. Like this. The deserts of Australia are expanding. If you don't want to use the, you can also say Australia's deserts are expanding. Now, this is the end of this part, grammar part, the first part of the grammar part, and you will be able to reach these practices on the Moodle on our regular system, and you are expected to complete all of these practices. If you have any question related to these tags, this video or these exercises, you can take notes down and you can ask about them during the in-class session. See you. Thank you for listening to me.